Here. Hey guys, welcome. So
Hello, Jeff.
tonight, hey, how are you? So tonight, what I thought would be an awful lot of fun. We always seem to have an awful lot of moto vloggers in our side chat, and one of the things that is always difficult, when we're doing our YouTube stuff, is editing and going through the whole editing process. So for anybody who's never been here before, I'm Superman Kev, 2001. Superman Kev's fine. I'm Kev, and I ride a 2012 Electroglide Classic. And the gentleman to my left, your right, this guy over here, introduce yourself, Wayne.
I forget. Who am I?
Oh, you forget who you are?
Jarvis Biker.
You're Mr. Jarvis.
Jarvis.
I ride a 2021 Road Glide Limited Gauntlet Gray. And I ride all over the place. But not right now because it's officially winter.
It is.
I got to go and get something too. Right?
Yeah.
After we introduce.
Oh, sure. And who are you, sir?
I am Harley Steiner's Rides. I'm not the original HDR. That
well, you are the original Canadian.
That belongs to Jack in the South. Yeah. But I am Dave, Harley Steiner's Rides, and I ride a 2007 Harley Davidson Street Glide.
You do so.
With a new crankshaft.
With a new crankshaft. Yes, and I was out last Thursday riding, and had a fantastic ride. Rode over towards where did we go? Fergus. We went to Fergus for lunch.
Did you go to where'd you eat?
The Goofy Newfie.
Oh, I've been there.
The Goofy Newfie. It's on the river. Right. And you go into the parking lot, and there's all of these buildings, and then there's a little walkway that's over top of the river. And this is the bar is built into the back of this complex.
Yeah.
And it was nice and warm. And it was interesting because there was a group of women sitting across from us. I think there was five or six of them chatting away. And then when they finished their lunch and were leaving, they came over to talk to us, and they belong to a women's riding group called Wind Sisters. And look them up, and they're quite a large group, right? So anyway, never even thought of pulling out a card. I wish Wayne, you were there, or Kev, you guys are so good at pulling out your cards.
Spam artists.
And shamelessly promoting your channels, whereas I forget everything, right? So anyway, hats off to them. And, out of the six of them, only one rode. The rest of them had excuses why they weren't riding.
I see.
So anyway.
Tonight, what we're going to talk about is a little bit about editing, and what I thought would be kind of fun, because we all do it a little different. And I think the one thing I really want to stress about editing is there's no right way, there's no wrong way, and some of the thing that I really enjoy about YouTube, and I'm sure you guys do too, is there's so many creators, and they all come up with interesting and different ways to present their information. And some guys are really, really good at it, and some aren't. but it doesn't matter because their content is good. So, you know, like we all have different ways of doing things, and I just don't think there's a wrong way to do it. But I want to talk about the ways that the three of us do it anyway, and maybe get some contribution from the side chat. But the first thing I wanted to ask you guys is, like, what editing software do you use? Dave, what do you use?
So I use a software called Power Director. It's a Windows-based software. It's actually, and the specific version that I use is called the Director Suite, which comes with, it's called Director Suite 365. So it comes with, something to do with audio, color, video, screen captures,
Effects.
and I'm forgetting one other. I can't remember the other software for it. Actually, I have it on my desktop, so why don't I look at it? Photo. So photo,
Okay.
audio, color, screen, and video. So it's a subscription. So I sign up. It cost me I think $7 a month for this suite, and I've been using it ever since I started YouTubing, and that's what I use. Now they're coming out with a new version called Power Director for Business, and they've dropped the photo, the color, the audio.
Oh, that stinks.
But they've added it's very similar to Canva and those types of software where you can create thumbnails, audio shorts, things like that for YouTube, thumbnails, Instagram, all of that stuff. So I think I emailed them because they didn't have an upgrade price. So this new version, again, it's a subscription. It's going to be $140 a year, but they don't have an upgrade to go from my Director 365 to the business software. They did say they would give me 20% off, but then like I've already paid for this year's subscription for what I have, so I'm going to stick with what I have until my renewal comes up in August, and then I think I'm going to switch.
Yeah, you bring up a good point about. Oh, lost you.
Oh,
Wayne? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, is Linda talking about hockey or something?
No, she's announcing that she just heard that Jay Leno got hurt in a car explosion.
Oh no!
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no.
Burns. So
in his shop
sorry to
or
throw
on the
off
road.
the topic, but it's news.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Well, sorry for the long-winded answer, but
and yeah, right now. And you, Wayne, which program do you use? What software editing program do you use?
Today or yesterday?
Well, let's go with mostly.
Yesterday, and for quite some time, I've been using Final Cut Pro.
It's a good program.
Which is a really good program. But after a conversation with Rich from Boots and Jeans Rider,
yeah,
I have been wanting to go back and try this DaVinci Resolve.
It's supposed to be really good.
It is, and it's free unless you buy the really big fancy one with all the bells and whistles. Pricing is comparable to the Final Cut Pro. The problem I have is Final Cut Pro just absolutely completely fills hard drives in no time at all.
Yeah.
So you get partway through like 2 videos and it's starting to choke, and you got to go and clean out the last video junk that's in there. It just creates files for no apparent reason. So
Yeah, you and I were talking about that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was getting frustrated the last little while, and like my
Yeah.
computer's smart enough, it's got enough RAM. Its storage space is just desecrates a hard drive. Like just takes it over. So
I wonder if people on the side have the same issue with using a lot of your hard drive space up when you're trying to edit. I know
there's
I
not a
run
lot
into
of
that too.
people using that software, and I believe it's just because of the price. And
Okay.
because it's Mac based, there's
Mhm.
not an IBM version.
Right.
There's not a PC version of it. DaVinci is both, and Linux, I think, as well, if you get that operating system. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
I use iMovie, which is the basically the
Free
poor man's
version of
version of
mine.
what
Yeah.
the poor man's version of what you use. And
Yeah.
you know, I think the thing I would say about any of these editing softwares is that it doesn't really matter which one you use as long as you learn how to use it properly. Like I find even with me using iMovie, I'm able to get better results than other people, not because I'm all that good, but because I've taken the time to learn a little bit about what it can do. And
Mhm.
I think that a lot of the programs are more powerful than we are able.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Like me looking at this new DaVinci program and trying it on this, I'm about halfway through our day 2 travel, our
Yes,
fall
yes.
ride.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about halfway through that, and I'm getting the hang of it now. So it's not that like I'm getting faster as I go, just because some of the
Yeah.
commands are different. The keyboard combinations are a little bit different than that. And some of them I haven't learned yet, so I got to go hunt for things. But um, it I think right now, if you really knew how much it could do, it'd really just blow your mind. That I don't think there's any reason for me that I found yet for upgrading to the paid version. I don't think there's any reason for me to do that. And I've used in the past quite a bit of stuff. I think the only thing that I have to learn a little better, and hopefully it works on the free version, is the masking. And that's where I have the other views up in the corners of my videos, and they're kind of rounded. They're kind of oval shaped, and they kind
Yeah.
of feather into the other. That's a mask that is readily able to just grab out of Final Cut Pro and drop it on that timeline, and it does that for you. In this version, I think I have to build that. I'd have to make it once and then save it into the menu. Once I do it once, it'll be there, and it'll be exactly the same as what I'm doing now. So, but I have to build it because they don't have that one in there as a one in the menu. So
Yeah.
a little bit of learning to maybe get it right.
Well,
But
you know, one of the things I guess I was thinking about this, and I was wondering what could I do for this discussion, you know, to make this a little more interesting. One of the things that I decided to do was I put together a short little video, and what I did is I used one really simple clip of me riding my bike around a curve, and I edited it, I think 4 or 5 different ways, and I put together a little video. I'm going to show it in a few minutes here. One of the things I want to point out before I even get started and get the thing going is one of the things that I did is flip the whole picture, you know, so like it's from the other way. So when you see the motorcycle coming around the curve the other way, I had just flipped the same image. But everything else, maybe what I'll do is I'll just play it, and then we can talk a little bit about this and talk about some of the things that, you know, we do when we're editing to make it a little more interesting. So with no further ado, I'm going to put this on. So here's the original footage. this is that curve I was telling you about. What a great curve to go around. I would recommend this to anyone.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman. Strange visitor.
Okay, I had to do Superman. You just had to do Superman. But
On a
you know,
bike,
you
on a
got to,
bicycle.
right? Yeah, you just got to. Oh, how do I get this? Oh, okay, I got to get rid of that. How do I get rid of it? I don't know. Oh, there we go. There we go. I got rid of it. So, I mean, I know that we all know that you can do that, but it's interesting how you can change the whole feel, the whole mood, the whole everything if you take a little bit of time just getting used to your editing program and trying something different, speeding it up, adding music, doing voiceovers, using clips that aren't yours. Do you guys do that as well? Use clips that are not yours? Do you do that ever?
Not very often for me.
How
no.
do you do?
Yeah. No,
No?
not so far anyway.
I wonder if people in the side chat, if they do that, if they will add stuff on the side. I get my clips and such from Canva. And I use Canva for some of those video clips because now I have to pay. I have the paid version of Canva. I pay.
I was just
Yeah, that's what I
gonna
was
say,
just going to ask. Do you
Yeah.
have the paid version? So
I pay $15 a month for that, but I use that part of it where I will use that to get those clips like the train and the guy going on the bike and stuff like that. I sometimes feel that really can add to your videos sometimes, if you don't have the clip, especially in the winter time. We're going into winter, and I find that editing is one way that you can be really creative as a YouTube creator. In the winter months, you can take some of the clips or the footage that you took during the summer and recycle it, and you can make a video about any number of topics. It doesn't necessarily have.
says he uses clips.
It's what?
McStash says he uses clips.
Yeah,
Some.
yeah, and yeah, and I think that using clips sometimes can really enhance the video and can make it a lot more interesting, right? I know that some people are a lot better at it than others. I'm not that great at it. I'm trying to get better at it. But it's just other ways to try to edit. And like I said at the beginning, I mean, there's no wrong way to edit. There's no way that is the be all and end all. And to that, when we talk about making a video, when you guys make a video, do you storyboard, or have you ever where you kind of figure out what you're going to do before you do it? Or do you just sort of take the footage and then create the video? I've done it both ways.
Like I drop all my camera angles all in, so I have like 3 or 4. This Canadian guy's ride, there's 4 cameras.
Yeah, I know.
Because I was using the Sena for the sound, right, to capture all us talking. So
yeah,
I just kind of go by what's just the sequence, follow the ride through.
Right.
So right now on that second day ride, I'm at the military display. That's where I left off yesterday from editing.
And Dave, like when you do it, do you do the same thing? Do you just drop all of your stuff down like Wayne does, or?
You know what, I do. I'll drop all of my video onto the timeline.
Yeah.
And then from there, I'll look to see what kind of transitions, what type of clips I'll be using, do I need to insert? So I kind of do, both ways. I first of all dump everything into the timeline, then I kind of figure out how I'm going to format the video, and then go from there. But it's always easier once all of the video is on the timeline, because really there's a lot of shots that I won't use. So let's say if I had 10 individual videos, a sequence of videos, I might look at those 10 and drop 4 of them, leaving me with 5 on my timeline, and I start whittling it down there. I try to keep my videos. Lately, I've been trying to keep my videos in and around anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But Wayne, man, you have oodles and oodles
3
of
to 4
footage.
times that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that some people do is they transfer their timelines into the cameras into the software, and they're there ready to use, and you can run your mouse over them and it'll show you a preview up on the there's like what's going on in the video, and then over here is what could be in the video. It's like the pool that you can pick from, and they just run their mouse across it, see what's in that clip, that 10-minute little box,
Right.
and if it's something that they want, then they drag it down into the timeline and they edit it and drop it in. So a lot of them, they only have one timeline, where I have 3 to 4, one stacked on top of the other, and then I have to slice them and move them off to the side out of the way when I want to see this view and this view, the views that I want. I just pull them off to the side, but they're always there.
Yeah.
Until you do the final render, and then they're not. Then it's just a straight MP4.
Yeah.
I'm always really jealous of some of the footage that you take, Wayne, because you have so many different angles of sort of the same thing. And that really helps when you're editing. I know myself, and McStash, Mr. McStash there was talking about like, when do you do the storyboard thing? And for me, like, depending on the video I'm making, if I'm making a silly video, I will storyboard it out to the point where I'll script it. I have done that before. Other times, like when we went on that ride video, what I will do is I will take a lot of short clips. Now, that's just the way I make videos. I like using short clips because I've always been limited with, number one, how many batteries I had, how many cameras I had, all that sort of things. Now I've got more cameras and more batteries. That's going to change the way I get video to use, right?
Yeah.
Now,
I find
you need memory cards now, Kev.
Yeah, I know.
They still got mine.
Lots of SD cards, right?
I
They
know.
still got mine. So.
I do have one of yours. Yes, I do. I've got a few of them here, and it's just like, man, oh man, trying to. And that's the next thing, when you talk about memory cards, it does not pay to get a cheap one. I made that mistake. Don't do that. You get choppy video. They don't keep up. They say they will, but they don't. You're much better off to have one that's a higher quality card.
Yeah.
How do you guys do your your memory cards? For instance, for me, if I'm on a 5-day trip, then I use one set of cards for each day, instead of just keep rolling until one's full and moving to the next one.
Now that is a great idea.
You saw this. You saw me using this, Dave.
Yeah. Now, how does that work again? Do you need to be connected to a computer?
Western Digital My Passport. It's a wireless hard drive. This one's 2 terabyte, I think.
Yeah.
Can't read, but it's got the SD slot on it. If I can get that in.
Yeah.
So your little SD card holder, you just put your card in there. Say we got to the hotel.
Yeah.
So you just get to the hotel and you slide your chip in. It detects it. And then it has a light bar on the front here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And right here, there's a light bar. So it starts going doot, 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 doot. Say we went out for dinner and came back, it would be full bars, telling me that chip has already been copied over into the hard drive automatically. Don't have to do anything. You don't have to tell it to do it.
Where
You
did
can
you
just
get
have
that,
it like
Wayne?
this.
Where did you get that, Wayne?
I think I searched it. I don't know if I did it on Amazon or whether I did it on like Canada Computers or one of those places. I can't remember now. I've had it. Tony Reno put me on to these things. That's what he used.
I just bought a Western Digital 5 terabyte for the computer for the issue that you were talking about having a lot of video files and them storing them, right?
Yeah.
So I've done that to kind of ease the pain on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're talking about, that thing would be awesome on a trip or when you're trying to, or even on a day.
The other thing that I do is I got this old Dell laptop. It's still pretty good. I think it's a i5 processor. So it's not a bad laptop. Like, it's pretty good. And I've got a fair amount of RAM in it. And it's got a double hard drive in it. I put in an internal extra hard drive in it, a couple of terabyte one. So when I go away, I take that as well. So usually what I do is I copy everything onto this. Sometimes I just plug it in and I use the USB cable to the laptop, and I use the laptop just so I can keep track of it a little better to make sure I'm not losing anything, because I get a little paranoid about it.
Don't we all?
Seeing it actually copy. So I'll do that. So I might copy 2 chips before we go out for dinner, like when we're on that ride, and then come back and I do the third one, and then I start looking at them to see how it turned out.
So that little unit that you have, you plug your SD card into that.
Yeah.
How does it save the files?
There's a little program inside it, like a CMOS programming, that it senses the chip and it goes in whatever's on it, it copies it. It's like it's got a little processor in there that it knows. There's like a little bin file on there. Don't delete that ever, because that's what tells it what to do, right? So yeah.
So I've got this. This is a very broad statement, but I'm wondering, what do you think would be your biggest tip when editing? If you were to tell somebody who's never really done much editing, and they get into this moto vlogging thing, and you're going to do it, what would be the biggest tip you would give somebody if they were going into that?
Do it right away.
Do it right away
before you forget what it, like, if you let it go too long, you forget little sequences of how stuff happened,
right?
Where you can go find it and just pluck those out and get rid of the garbage,
right?
It's a way easier. Like, say my Ozark trip, I've got 6 days left to edit.
Oh, that's a lot of editing.
3 cameras, 6 days, and I won't remember everything. Like, I know there was a truck that the trailer went off on one of the corners, and the guy dragged it around the rocks around the thing just as we went past. I think he couldn't get out wide enough on the corner because he saw us coming, and instead of stopping and waiting for us, he tried to make it without going wide, and he
Yeah.
dragged the trailer, and there was like rock pieces flying, and
Oh,
it's on video on all three. I captured it coming into it, coming around it, and coming away from it.
and I'll bet you that gives a really good effect when you're trying to
I
edit.
don't know
Like,
yet because I haven't edited that video. I've gone and
Yeah.
looked at the views to see that I captured it on all three cameras, and I did. So
the one thing I know that these cameras, these new GoPros, are really good at, and I haven't set the camera properly. I think that's the other part I wanted to mention too. When you're editing, if you kind of have a sense of what it is you want to do, making sure you have the camera set in the right setting. Like if you want to do that, what do they call that when you do the slow-mo with the GoPro? Like they have that super smooth, ultra hyper slow or something.
hyper smooth or something like
Hyper
that.
smooth or whatever it is. And I've not tried that yet. I'd like to.
I never played with that. It was always too hinky for me.
Well, there's so like, and I guess I go back to the comment I made at the beginning about how there's no right or wrong way to do this. But I think that the more you get familiar with your camera gear, your editing program, you can do great things. It doesn't seem to matter what program you use if you learn to use whatever you have as good as you can. If that makes any sense.
And there's a lot of really good instructional YouTube stuff out there.
Yeah.
On
absolutely.
all the softwares, all of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There's more now for this DaVinci Resolve that since I looked at it this time compared to like a year and a half ago, there's a lot more. I found better videos, better teachers, I guess is the way to put it, and better instruction videos. The content in them was better to like to get it in to understand it, I guess.
You know what? I when I first started using the iMovie, I was trying to figure out how to do it. And I went to all these sites, there was a guy from Apple, and there was a big YouTuber who had done all this. They talked so over my head. I didn't understand what it was going on. So I searched in the thing, how do I make at that time, what I was trying to do is I was trying to make a gun sound, right? How to make a gun sound and make it appear like it's shooting at the same time. So I put it in the search bar. I get this 13-year-old kid who does it on iMovie. He showed me, he goes, you take your thing and you go here and you see this little do thingy, you hit that and it brings this menu down. Then you find this and you do this and you do that. It was so simple because the kid was like, he wasn't talking. He said, and then, okay, so here's what you want to do. You want to set it up so it does this. I'm watching the thing. It's like a 13-year-old kid. I learned it in like 5 minutes.
You've got to find the guys that they go through the process of, and they don't start talking about leading up to it. They don't talk about stuff in between, like go right direct. You got to get them the ones that, and you go here and you do this and you go here and you do that. You go here and you do that. And then
that's what the kid did.
You're able to get the steps, and you can even write it down as they're doing it, or
that's exactly what the kid did.
That's the good part about dual screen. You can have it over here, and you can be working on it over here. So, but you get those guys that they get long-winded and they get talking about it. Well, before they're done, I forget what the hell they were talking about over here. So,
how about you, Dave? Do you find if you go onto the YouTube to figure out how to do something, are you like me and you look for the 13-year-old kid who can teach you, or
Well, you can kind of tell, like within the first minute of a video, you can tell whether they're going to ramble on or whether they're going to get right to the point. But and there's some great videos. A few out there that they know that you're going to click away, you're going to be gone if they don't get to the point. And chitter chattering about, oh, I made this video yesterday, and you know, we can use this part of it, and this was a fun day that I had, you know, the day before, so we'll use. I don't need to hear that. Just I'm going to use this clip, and I'm going to use this clip, and I'm going to do this with it. Then get into it and do it. So.
Yeah. So I just want to come back to your question there, Kev, on the biggest tip when editing.
Yeah.
So just a couple of points. You know, one of the ones that I would highly recommend is saving your work. Be over vigilant in saving your work as you go through. If your computer crashes or your software hangs, you know, you only go back to the last time it did an autosave.
Right.
You know, so saving all the time is one of them. The other thing is, don't delete any of your files until you've mounted it on YouTube. You know, in the early days, I was cognizant of disk space, and if I said, okay, I'm finished with this file, I would delete it. Only to then later on say, you know, I wish I had that file back. Right. And so, you know, my tip there is don't delete anything until you're actually finished with it. And if you've got lots of space, you know, even holding on to look at Wayne Scott, you know, even just holding on to your files. You know, I've got what now, a 2 terabyte, a 4 terabyte, and a second 4 terabyte. So all of my videos, even though I may not use a file, I save it and put it on. And the last tip I'll give you, right, is when you're transferring from your SD card onto your computer, use one SD card at a time. Don't spread them out on the table. Don't spread them on the table and pick one up, put it in the machine.
So you did figure out where that last video went.
I had a whole ride. I had a whole ride a couple of years ago where I picked up this memory card, put it into the machine, thought I had already copied it over, opened it up, deleted everything on it, put it back down, only to find out that I hadn't copied it.
You know, and why is it, Dave, when you have one piece of video and you know you've got it because you remember you might even looked at it on the camera. You get into the computer and you can't find that one piece, and it's the one piece that you're kind of building your video around.
I'm still looking for that saucer thing flying off that car and going over Gloria's head.
Oh yeah.
I'm still looking for that. That it like 3 seconds of video in 7 hours of riding.
Try to find it.
Yeah,
it's there. I know it's there because I saw it happen. I looked specifically and see that the cameras were all running. They were.
And you know what? My biggest tip is goes right to that, Wayne. Now I know from the last trip that we went on, it was better to have more video because it was so much easier. But generally when I'm making a video, if I go out like with a ride with a group of guys or something like that, and I just we're going out for a couple of hours and I want to make a video, I'll just take short little clips, just highlight it here or there. I like to get different angles. So I'm constantly moving my GoPros around. And now with these other ones, I'm able to do it with the button, which is a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
But moving them around, getting different angles makes the videos so much more interesting. There's nothing worse than watching somebody's video and it's an hour of him driving from the same view, the same sound, nothing changes. Like I can't watch that much, you know. And when like there's other times when like if you've got some people who are really good at editing, they'll you know either be using a voiceover telling you what the heck is going on, or they'll use 2 or 3 different views like Wayne does, which is really awesome when you can do that. Or if you're really good at editing, like Dave does, with the changing, you can do those like intros and all those, using those shots and putting them together so well. Like, how do you guys, and I was going to ask you guys before, do you have a I have the banner here somewhere. I want to talk to you about transitions. So like, the one thing you do when you edit, is there a transition that you use? Is there a tip you have for using that transition? What transitions do you use? I'm interested to know, because you guys edit differently than I do. So Wayne, what do you use when you're transitioning?
It has a lot to do with what music I use because if it's like sharp boom 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 music where I'm flipping from one view to another to another to another, there's no transition at all. It's just a straight cut. Okay. If it's something that I want to bring over slowly, I'll widen it out. Like I can grab the corner of the transition and make it more seconds long than half a second or whatever it actually is. The one I use the most is like a star. It's kind of like flashes of light, and I'll use it quite a bit. And I also use one that's just like a wipe, just left to right and it's gone. Just for Angel Face's question there to me, I don't have that capability on the Garmin camera to do to tag. It would be nice if I could, but to my knowledge, there's no function for that. So sometimes I'll just wave at it or do something, but sometimes I don't.
So you can mark it.
Particular thing I was talking about happened, I was like, oh man, like I thought for sure it was going to hit her. But anyway, yeah, that's the transitions I use, Kev. They don't recommend. A lot of the really good video guys don't use. They just switch. It's a clean, quick.
Yeah, I tend to use a cross dissolve a lot, but it depends, like you say. And I was going to ask you about the music too, because how often do you edit to music? Both you guys. I'll put that to you.
I do it quite a bit.
I know you do.
Most of mine do.
Yeah,
you do that as well
because of the length. And because of my style, I'm not a vlogger, I'm a recorder, I guess.
Yeah.
Like there's conversation in there, especially on that ride with us because we were all mic'd up. But it's too much to keep constant talking. And then you go back and you edit out all the quiet stuff and the non-interesting stuff. You just cut it and it's gone. And then you whittle it down, like Dave said. You just carve it down until you get, your 5 to 10 minutes out of 7 hours. Yeah.
You know what? You can really go crazy on transitions, and I think that's the curse of being brand new. Yeah. Is you want to do something that's exciting. You want to do something that is different, that's neat. And then at the end of it, after you've done it for a while, you come back and you want more simple or simplistic. You don't want the transitions taking over the video.
Well, the TV guys, they use a black. It's like a micro little fade to black is what they use. So when they change a scene in a movie or something, there's not usually any of that kind of stuff. It's almost a blink. It's almost like an eye blink and you're there.
I use fade ins, fade outs. I'll use a blur or a wipe, and sometimes I'll use a rotate, depending on there's a video I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
It's got a rotate transition, but it kind of fits. It goes along with the video that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use a rotate or a swipe if I was, just doing strictly a riding.
Yeah, it's too gimmicky for what your
Yeah,
subject is. Yeah.
it takes away from it, and,
Yeah.
and you're right, Wayne.
Yeah.
A clean
I
cut,
think
especially
I
with
think-
the different types of music that you're using, is real. It can be really powerful.
Yeah,
in,
it
in,
is.
in that.
And
I think-
it's kind of the funny thing. It's the same as, like, you talk to real good guitar players and they'll talk to you and they'll say, you're playing too much. You got to let them hear stuff themselves without you actually, you don't have to pick every note. That's what the band does. The band together hits every note some way or the other. It's kind of a collage of sound. So it's the same with video. You can get too much gimmicky stuff in there and it just takes away from what
Yeah.
you've actually got.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, the scenery in that, what we rode through there is like, it's incredible. You don't need anything. Just put music to it and let people watch it. I mean, it's
and sometimes that is the best way. Like, it's odd, like some of my most successful videos are the least edited.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have spent like literally hours editing something, and when it's done, the video kind of underperforms or it does okay, but it's like, why did I spend so much time putting all that in? But I think sometimes editing, you can do a lot in editing to enhance the video. Like I was showing with that one clip there with the motorcycle over and over again, depending on the feel that you want to get. My suggestion, like what my advice would be to somebody who's just learning or just starting editing, is to watch YouTubers that edit in a way that you find really engaging or a way you like, and steal some of their ideas. I'm not saying steal all their ideas, because you're not going to be, but like some of the ways that people do it, like I have learned more from fellow YouTubers than I have anywhere else. YouTube guys, I've learned a lot from YouTube guys. I mean, just talk to other people who do the same thing. Watch videos, the ones that you really like, and then try and figure out a way that you can do something similar.
I'll just say this, Kev. The best transition is the one that you don't notice.
That's right.
As a watcher, right? If you get to the end of somebody's video and you can't think of a transition, then that's a good one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know what? And I think that's what I was trying to say, is if you can make it look like you're just watching it and it's not a whole lot of fluff and stuff. Like, I mean, the little clip that I made where I did the cartoon stuff and all that kind of stuff, like it's cool. And what I was trying to show was that it does really change the same clip, by doing something like that, changing the color. The one thing that I've noticed that is really dramatic is if you can make it go slow motion and then put really dramatic music, you can take something that is really boring and make it super interesting, and tell your story.
Hey, Kev, Dewey writes, he's got a message there.
And Hillquest.
Yeah, put up Dewey's. I think it starts with, I think
I spend a lot of time editing videos.
Yeah. Keep it simple. That works best for me. Yeah. It's true.
Hillquest said that some of his favorite edited videos have the least watch time.
Yeah. And you know what? And it brings up a whole, like, how much time do you spend editing? Like for me, I don't know about you guys, but editing is sort of one of my most favorite parts of the whole deal. Yeah, it takes a long time, but it's the real creative part. And that's the part that I enjoy. Like I like the writing and all that stuff, but I do enjoy that trying to put it together. Like the one thing I never do or very seldom do is do everything in order. Like I will put things out of order, and I do it on purpose. I do it on purpose because I want to grab those exciting moments and put them in the video, and it doesn't necessarily have to be at the end, because the best part was at the beginning or at the end. I'll put it at the beginning. You know what I mean? And
Well, you can do that too. You can have like a little preamble, like we're having
Yeah.
a parade.
yeah, we're having a parade. That's right.
So,
Yeah, that's kind of funny. You know, I'm
and
always
for those people that don't know what we're talking about, you're not watching my videos.
That's right. And mine hasn't come out yet. I'm working on it, and I'm not happy with it. I'm still editing it.
There
How
we
about
go.
you, Dave? What's your excuse?
Well, it's in the queue. I've just got so much
Yeah.
recording that I did this summer. I just have so many projects that they're all in the queue. Yeah, this one was a good comment from Dewey.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's a good point. I think we spend a lot of time editing what's really important to us, and I think that that's true.
Mhm. Well, that
You
was the
know?
other thing I was going to say, because when we start talking about getting the videos longer and trying to keep everything in sequence,
Mm,
the reason that I originally started to do this was I wanted to capture all of our rides for future.
mm-hmm.
My idea was I'm going to be like 90, hopefully 90 someday, and I'll be able to jump on YouTube and go watch all my videos and remember all the places I've been.
Yeah.
Or on all those hard drives that you've got.
Yeah, they'll probably be like dust by then, but
Yeah.
Paramount Movies is going to buy the rights to Wayne's.
Yeah, it'll be on Netflix.
Right. It'll be in the Netflix.
well,
The Wandering
my life.
Wizard.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure, Dave. You're just banging at the door.
So,
Linda is.
like Angel is saying here, you know, what are you guys' feelings on these shorts that they have now? Good or a waste of time in your opinion? I haven't done any of those. Have you, either of you guys?
No, I've been toying with it, but I haven't actually sat there and done it. Now,
Yeah, I don't know
I think
exactly how that
Dave's
all-
software has that option to actually do it.
Yeah, the new software that I'm gonna be buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that until the current version I have
Mhm.
has expired.
Upgradable.
Right. But the other thing too is, like, for me is my Mondays is for editing and putting out a video, and Tuesday is my release, and then I mount them onto the different user groups that I belong to, because I could spend all day down here working on the computer, and but that's not what I want to do. Right. You want to be out riding or working in the garage or meeting up with friends and things like that. So I haven't done shorts right now because my day is taken up with me editing and putting out a video for Tuesday.
Yeah.
If this new software makes it easier for me, I may do a short.
Yeah.
Give
Like
it a try.
all the big guys are doing it. And
Yeah, I've seen that it's coming out. It's more of a thing now.
There is the option to subscribe on them. So they're doing it for a reason. And it could be just that there are those phone people that we're missing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, we
Yeah.
could be missing all the phone people because we don't upload in their format.
Yeah. Kev, put Eddie's comment, Windy Therapy. He's talking about shorts. YouTube has a new feature.
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
It allows you to create shorts from existing videos.
Yeah.
But the quality of the only thing there is, I mean, how interested are people going to be to go back and watch a short of a video that you hopefully have already watched?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know much about
to
the
get
short
ones that haven't seen it, Dave.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm going to throw this question out because I'm getting to the point now, like I have almost 300 videos in my library. Have you ever reloaded one, from a long time ago?
No,
Made
because
something
I
old new
lose all
again?
those views, right?
You lose the views?
No,
Yeah.
you wouldn't use it if you uploaded it a second time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there rules on doing that?
I don't know. I've never done it.
I've never done it either. I've used parts of one.
Mm.
I've used parts of one again.
Yeah.
But create another video. I've shortened a video and put it out and done all right with that. Yeah, attention spans are perfect for shorts. Mr. McStash says, yeah, just Mr. McStash, just so that you're, I just want to, say that we do support the channel, Mr. McStash.
Quite a shameless plug. Does he
Shameless
pay you
plug.
to do that?
Seeing
Shameless
that, well,
plug.
here, just a second. Seeing that we're on Jason there, the Mr. McStash, his latest video that's come out, he's got a competition. He wants us to help him come up with a new license plate for his motorcycle. So, and if you
Wow.
win,
Goody.
and have the winning license plate number, right? Purchase it, and then you can ransom it back to Mr. McStash, for cold cash. Right?
Oh,
I thought it was for a free hoodie.
Whoever's the winner,
I think
quickly
it's-
go out and buy that plate. Right? No, I'm only joking. But the winner of it will get a jacket, a Mr. McStash jacket.
Oh, that's very.
Anyway,
that's very
there's
cool.
my plug for Jason.
There you go. So
And he did some great videos over Remembrance Day too, or Veterans Day as they call it in the States.
yeah.
Right. The best one, and I'll just say this as another call out,
Yeah.
Military Biker, what he did for Remembrance Day, Veterans Day, that video, very moving, very, very powerful. If anybody hasn't seen it, for Stevie, Military Biker, you should go and watch it.
I'm writing it down right now. So what is the name of the video? Do you know?
Well, it'd be the Remembrance Day.
The Remembrance Day
I'll
one?
tell you what. While you guys go on, I will find it and tell you what the name is.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. There's a couple of YouTubers. I don't know if many people in the side chat are aware with the fellow who's a friend of ours, Terry, who has Try and Learn Bikes is one of his channels. He has Try and Learn, and he has Try and Learn Bikes, and it's spelt really weird. He's got a video out right now. It's no, it's not going to come on. Okay, edit.
There we go. So Kev, I just put Stevie's link to that video in the side chat.
I just posted a link on that's the newest one from Try and Learn, and I wish I could pull it up, but I'm not that good with that stuff. Wayne's better at that than I am. It's a fairly short video, but the editing that the guy uses in there, it's a motorcycle video, and what he's talking about, it's kind of a funny, cute video about putting your bike away for the winter, and he has a number of motorcycles, and he put this video together. I laughed
He's
all the
got
way
a
through it.
shit ton of bikes.
Yeah, but it's a kind of a funny video, and it's edited beautifully. And this is the thing that I'm trying to get at, is like how you can, a guy like him, his channel should be so much bigger because the quality of his videos are outstanding, but they like we were saying before, it's not always about the editing either.
You know what? And I'm just watching the video right now. Here is a perfect example of why you never delete or throw away your video, right? Because he's got winter shots, he's got summer shots,
Yeah.
all
In one video.
in one video, right?
Yeah.
So you never throw your stuff away.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you guys get a chance, follow that link and check that video out, because it's really a good video. The banners. I have a few more questions for you guys if you want to have them. Have you ever used black and white? Have you ever tried to do that?
Not yet.
I use black and like monochrome, kind of like that cartoony thing you did
Yeah.
in your intro video there.
Yeah.
I didn't do it for any effect. I did it so that I could keep that portion of the video, but still show it, because
You didn't want to show
somebody
people
in
were.
the video cannot be shown.
Didn't want to have his face on.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would cartoonize it basically so that I could keep that little segment of the video.
You know, and you make a good point too, Wayne. Like, you know, a lot of times when we're making videos and we're with other people, you always want to be cognizant of the fact that they may or may not want to be on the video.
Mhm.
And if they're not, and you're doing the editing, you have to do something to respect that, you know. And if that means you know, only showing them in a cartoon so you can't really tell who they are, or if that's editing them out completely, or, you know,
Put a big blur on their face.
big blob on them.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, you always have a bit of a responsibility as a creator to respect all the people that you've got in. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, if I go to an event and I'm passing out my cards, I will say to somebody, I have a YouTube channel, and do you mind if I use the footage I have of you? And most of the time they say, oh yeah, go ahead. I'll be on YouTube. Okay. You know, but
Yeah.
I'm always
That's a good point. We had in our hog chapter, we had not because it was my video that I was making, but we had one guy in our hog chapter who was adamant, I do not want my picture taken. I do not want to be on a video. And, you know, you did have to respect his wishes. And, you know, any pictures that were taken were, you know, if he was in them, we deleted them, right?
Witness protection program.
Yeah, I know.
Ex-wife protection program.
Alimony.
True. I'll give you a true story.
Okay.
Right? A friend of mine who had a very high position, right, was on TV, and somebody recognized him and introduced him to another one of his sons.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, you know, when he was young and foolish, he had conceived a young one with a woman, and he didn't even know it, and she didn't know it. It was one of those ships passing in the night. You know, and 20 years later, there he is on TV, and she says, "That's the guy."
So my next question: what do you find is the hardest part of editing? Like, you dump all this stuff on the computer. Now what? Like, for me, like, it's always trying to figure out my story. How am I going to tell this story? Because ultimately, when we're making a video, that's basically what we're doing. We're telling a story of either the trip we went on, or how to fix your, you know, the light on your bike, or the, you know, the piece of chrome that fell off, or whatever it is, right? So that's what I like. The hardest part for me is figuring out, like, how I'm going to do it. How about you guys?
The hardest part is actually finding time to sit down and actually do it.
Yeah, I know.
And that's why I've got so much footage now, is because I was out riding all summer. I didn't have time to sit here.
Right.
So I've got lots to do. This old guy on a bike said the border guards hate to be on camera. I didn't.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
The only thing I found was that they ask is it on? And it was only a couple of times I was asked that, and they said, just don't photograph inside the booth. Something about they don't want you seeing what they're seeing or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
That
On
was
the
the only
screen.
thing I've ever been asked. They don't care that I'm videoing, but most of the time I turned it off. A couple of times I forgot pulling up and it was on, and one guy asked if it was on, and I said, yeah. And then I flipped it down. He said, oh, you don't have to do that. And he said, just don't photograph inside the booth. And I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Or the other part, hardest part, too many coffees. That could be a hardest part.
It could. You know what is
Yes, Angel Face, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Procrastination.
procrastination? You know what? I was just going to say that.
Yes.
You know what? As I said, Mondays are my day for creating videos, and sometimes it'll be 3:00 in the afternoon, and I haven't even done anything. And then I look around and say, well, what did I do today, right? And it ends up being a lot of nothing. So yeah, procrastination is probably the number one for me.
Yeah. You know what? And like editing it's a.
Lori's
it's a
here.
balance.
Wants to answer the question. What do you want to say?
I can attest to this.
Can you hear
Can
her?
you?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Oh yeah.
That's just a TV that's on very loud. That wasn't really Lori.
Pay no attention to that woman behind the curtain.
In the curtain. she's not there. Have you ever finished a video and you forgot a really great clip?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, I have too.
And I'm not going back because it just creates a huge mess in the timeline of your video.
I know. I've had the same thing happen to me. You get this, this masterpiece finished, and then you go, oh crap, there's my really good clip.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you this. I have forgot to add my opening and closing to a video and mounted it on YouTube. And in that case there, I deleted it and fixed it and put it back up.
The other thing that's happened to me too is I've actually been going through the editing, and then the part or the best clip that I found was what you had just said about having what the old guy on a bike had said. He's got the 3 cameras going. He's not sure which one's on and which one's off. And I thought I had one camera on, and the one that captured the footage was down low, but it actually ended up being really cool footage. It wasn't what I was trying for. It was probably better than what I had. What is that? What are you yelling at?
Old guy's last comment.
Oh, okay. Where?
A spelling mistake in the title, and then he says
Yes.
spelling.
Yeah. I've done the spelling mistakes lots of times.
Yeah, I think I've done that too, but I've caught it before I've mounted it.
Yeah, and nothing's more embarrassing. Yes, a spelling mistake. Yes, I have done the spelling mistake in the title.
Yeah, I like Dewey, right? Spelling it was international.
Intentional.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, intentional. Sorry, international.
I think it was actually. But
Well,
going with it was intentional.
It just wouldn't be a Canadian guys without a speed round. So we might as well start with the speed round questions. What do you think, guys?
Sure.
All right. First question's a really hard one. What are we drinking tonight? I've got
Very
water.
boring. A cup of tea. A cup of tea in my Harley glass.
Mm-hmm. Diet Pepsi. All right.
There we go.
Okay.
We're
Now
off
the
to a good
big
start.
question.
I've already had my allotted amount of beers at dinner, so
All right. Are you guys ready for winter videos? We all hate winter videos.
Yeah.
I hate garage videos, but yes, I am ready, damn it.
Yeah, I got lots of reel to pick from.
Yeah, I have got a lot of video footage to go through. I've got a number of videos I am working on right now. I've got 4 in the queue, and I've got ideas for more. I've put this green screen up in this room. This is my new, and with this green screen in here, I am going to be doing some filming in the wintertime in here. Using the green screen, I've got a couple of video ideas that I've been storyboarding because what I do is I will write down ideas, stick them on my bulletin board for video ideas, and then try and work through them. I find it's easier that way. Then I'm not thinking of what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? This, YouTube for me it's a vicious master, but I do like it. I haven't been as diligent getting them out as I have been in the past, but it's because life has gotten in the road right now. We've got a lot going on. And that's kind of the thing. So we're all kind of ready and not ready for winter, eh? Mail call time. That's what McStash says.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah, you didn't know.
That was a pretty good interpretation there, Wayne. That sounded bang on.
Yeah,
I learned it from the master when I was.
Yeah, we'll have to fix somebody's bike this winter. We did it last year.
Yeah. Hey, I've got the open invite. One of my friends who's retired, him and his wife go down to Florida every year. They leave the end of October and they come back, just before the end of March. And he's given me an open invitation to throw the bike on the trailer and come down and stay with him this year.
Oh, right on.
And I might just have to talk to Lori about it, But,
what's the address? Do they have a big driveway?
Well, he's got a fifth wheel, right? So that's some of the things I have to work out is, where to store the truck and the trailer while I've got the bike. But he's got a 43 foot fifth wheel toy hauler. So he's got lots of space.
All right. So because we are always so serious on the show, do you have a Christmas motorcycle Christmas shirt for winter time? You don't?
No, I have a Christmas shirt. I have a Christmas shirt, but I don't have a Christmas one.
Oh, what fun it is to ride!
Oh, I thought Santa was eating ice cream there for a second.
You're not supposed to have that stuff out till after the U.S. Thanksgiving. You're
I have it out now. I'm just getting ready. I figured, we've got I've got my Harley Davidson, Christmas, Merry Christmas shirt. Got a couple of them.
Dave McStash just called you a snowbird.
I'm a snowbird.
No,
that's
Dave. He said Dave's a snowbird.
Finally, I mean Cal is the official snowbird, Canadian snowbird, right? But I can be called a snowbird. I've been called worse.
So, all right. So the next of our speed round questions.
Turkey first, he said. Yeah.
I didn't put an ice cream question in, so I went for this. What is your snack of choice for winter? Because we're going into winter. What do you think? What's the snack of choice?
Jeez.
Cookies.
Cookies. I love cookies.
Chocolate chip cookies. That's what the grandkids and I
So I go to this breakfast place up near Pinto, and it's like a bakery and a restaurant. So they got all these baked goods in the counter thing in front of you when you're checking out. I bought a goddamn cherry pie. Linda come home. She goes, What's this pie plate and box from? I said, never mind. It was gone.
Oh,
Not
you know
supposed
what?
to eat like
my
that.
my son, when he was living here, he had his his bedroom's in the basement, and
Right.
all of the food is in the freezers downstairs. And am I echoing? No, not me. And somebody's echoing, guys.
Not me.
Not me.
Is it me? No, it's not me. Okay.
I don't know. Right.
Anyway, we would pull out a tub of ice cream to take upstairs and find a spoon stuck in it.
Oh yeah, we've got a lot of good ideas here.
Yeah, chicken wing.
Other than poutine.
Turkey.
Yeah,
I like that rye suggestion though. That's
rye's good.
That's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Doesn't do
Yeah.
much for the blood sugar though.
Eddie likes Brazilian nuts.
Yeah, not his own. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been fun, guys. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about as around editing? When we're going through all this, I know it, like, as far as YouTubers go and moto vloggers, it ends up being a big part of it. Like this whole, I was having a pretty good conversation with Dead Knot, and we were talking back and forth about sound, you know, when you're doing the moto vlog, and how that can be a whole animal trying to figure that out. And I think even sound for me in editing with my voiceovers or editing, getting the levels right, I never seem to really nail it. I'm either too loud, too quiet, you know, and I've been trying to figure out that magic bullet. You know, and then one thing
I ran
say,
into problems with sound when I moved over to Harley. One reason was the windshield isn't quite as wide as the one on the Goldwing, so that the air is flipping back in.
right?
And the other reason is the bike is louder that way. So what I've gone to is the Bluetooth, using it through another Bluetooth onto the camera. And it works better with the Cardo than it does with the Sena. So I've basically got everything now so that I'm going to be using Cardo pretty much exclusively for those things. But I bought because I like the half helmet, Cardo didn't have any option for me until recently. They came out with the mount for the Packtalk Bold, so that you can mount it to a half helmet with the boom mic. Same as the Sena ones I had hooked up.
I was going to show you, Wayne. This came in the mail today.
What is that?
It's a boom mic.
It's a boom mic, and you're going to use that for?
Is that a gaming? Is that a gaming?
It's like a one
headset?
earpiece.
Kev?
1 earpiece. It doesn't have an ear.
Is that
No,
a gaming one?
Just a microphone.
It's just a
that'll
mic.
work. That'll work great.
Yeah. And what
You
I
know
like
what?
about it is it has a thing so it'll stick on my head,
Yeah.
right?
But you can't
So-
plug it into a Cardo or a Sena.
But
The
I
plug
can.
doesn't
You can plug
go
it
into
in
your
for GoPro.
camera though.
Yeah, I can
The only
plug it
thing
into
is,
my GoPro.
some of those, and I'll just say this: some of those RJ35s
Yeah.
For gaming don't work well with the GoPros.
I know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
found that out the hard way.
Yeah, because I've bought some in the past, you know, cheaper ones, and they don't work.
Well, this one here is specifically made, I think, for what we do. So we'll see.
What's the
gonna-
name of it?
El Cheapo.
El Cheapo. It just might work then.
I'm thinking.
Well,
I'm
hopefully it
thinking.
works.
Well, I'm going to give it a try. I was going to try it out today. Never got to it because I wanted to do it. Well, Yellowstone just came out, Anyway, had to watch that. I just want to say thank you to everybody in the side. I hope that we didn't bore you to death and you did get something out of this. Editing is a huge part of this whole YouTube universe, and my biggest advice to anyone is don't be afraid to put a video out and don't be afraid to try something different. I've tried editing differently. I have tried using different special effects. What I would suggest to anybody is try something you've never tried in every video. Not everything, but try one thing different and see if it works. I've learned some of my best tricks by doing that. I always try to put one thing or do one method differently than I've ever done it before. Examples of taking like sound bits and putting them on top of other clips, and things like that, or playing them slower or faster or different colors, whatever you can do to make it interesting and to keep your audience like engaged. And that's always what we're trying to do as YouTubers. So, with that, I want to thank everybody and thank you two guys so much because you guys are really good at editing. And
We're still learning.
Yeah, I think the point is we've all been doing this for a little while, and we're still learning. Like I just learned to do stuff that I didn't know how to do, like last week, and I've been editing for years. So it's like it's a big learning curve, and you're never really finished, right? So thank you everybody, and thanks for all of the good comments in the side. And Dave, are we going to be back next week again? Do you want me?
Are we doing a weekly?
Well, it's up to you if you want to do one next week, or do you, if you have a topic or something like that, or do you want me to do it?
I can do it. I'll do it.
Wayne hasn't
You'll
done
do it?
one yet.
Yeah.
There you go.
You want to?
Good stuff, Wayne.
Well, thank you, Wayne.
I'll give it a whirl. See how I do.
Give it a whirl. All right. So join us all next week at Jarvis Biker, and you'll see the post come out sometime in the week. And we'll look forward to having you all back again. We really enjoy doing this, and thank you very much for all coming out.
All right, guys.
All right. See you later.
Very good, Kev.